It's yay! It was right on there. What's going on, everybody? We are back for another WandaVision episode. This episode is, as you can see below, an all-new Halloween Spooktacular. Episode 6. What's going on, guys?
This is the episode that explains everything. And I'm just saying that for people who have not seen the episode because it explains nothing.
But yeah, let's go ahead and just kick it off. Thank you guys for helping us to get to 51,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Really appreciate it. There will be a giveaway video that I'll be doing later on tonight for Amazon gift card. And if you don't know how to enter it,
if you don't get us to 60,000, we will give away a car.
What? Oh yeah, it'll be a remote control RC car.
Wait. You're not supposed to tell them that. I just said give away a car. I didn't say what type of car.
Look.
Anything.
Look, I was like, look, I ain't got no car money. But yeah, going off of the last episode, I'll go ahead and pull it up really quick. Mm-hmm. Vision and Wanda had this confrontation. Vision was tired of all this foolishness. He's like, look, something ain't right. You ain't talking. You ain't going to put me off on no credits. And then welcome home comes your boy Quicksilver. And it was the Quicksilver from X-Men universe, or at least the silhouette of him in Evan Peters, which is fine. Now, everybody went crazy over this. We went and we talked about it. We're going to just move forward. We're not going to go back. We're going to talk about episode 6 and what we thought about episode 6, because this was technically a pseudo Malcolm in the Middle episode. This is the 90s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the 90s, right?
Oh, it starts off just
it's weird because why wouldn't they do Full House first?
Oh, no.
It would have been a perfect moment for Full House.
Late 80s, early 90s.
I'm saying, right? Like, her freaking sisters, it would have been perfect. They put a Full House in between.
I think it's because they own the rights to Malcolm in the Middle. They don't own the rights to Full House. So they like, hey, let's do the Malcolm in the Middle style with the kids, talk to the camera, and like it's a nice way to set up everything, though.
Yeah, but in this episode, it was a Halloween-based episode, so we got to see Wanda in her comic book silhouette. I can't remember what she said she was. She was some kind of witch, or I forget what she called herself.
Shucks, was it a witch?
I don't know if it was a sorceress.
Vision was a Mexican.
He's a Mexican wrestler. Yeah,
I can't remember what she said she was. I really can't.
Yeah, I want to try to remember, but yeah, it was weird. But in this episode, Evan Peters' character plays the older brother.
Younger brother.
No. Well, I mean, for like the kids, he's kind of like the older brother amongst the kids, but really he was her younger brother.
The uncle in every 90s sitcom.
Yeah, exactly.
He was not Uncle Jesse. Who's the other guy? The cut it out. That guy.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't remember.
A man child, basically. He plays the man child here.
Yeah. It was
you would never leave your kids with.
True. It was just very weird. And I'm gonna bring up why, but let's kind of move on. As far as the costumes and the small little Easter eggs, it was cool for them to have their outfits. To me, from a visual standpoint, what kind of stood out was probably the end. Seeing like a full-fledged Vision, kind of basically being disintegrated, while trying to break through the barrier of the wall. From a visual standpoint, it's looked amazing. Like it was actually pretty dope. I was really surprised that they went for it. That Disney budget went for it for this episode.
That $25 million per episode really kicked in right here. I think they even saved a few from the first couple episodes.
They did.
Said, this is where we're going to spend the money at.
Yeah, but now that we've kind of overlaid the things that happened, like let's kind of talk about some of the controversial things about the episode.
Cool.
Let's start on Vision. So Vision, the very first thing with him is he kind of was like lying to Wanda about what he was doing. Like, cause he basically, I forget what he said. He was telling her he was gonna go.
the neighborhood watch.
Yeah, and then she found out from somebody else that he didn't do that.
The black neighbor who was dressed as Frankenstein.
Yeah, which was weird. He didn't even look like himself. I was actually a pretty good cosplay because I did not recognize him at first. But
wait, did you call his costume cosplay?
You know what? We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go. We're not going to go there.
Okay.
You know I'm sick. Leave me alone. But after that point, Vision went to survey the town. Mm-hmm. Because initially he was kind of like interacting with them, and then he kind of moved away, and then he found out like different areas in the town were just not moving. And this coincided with Darcy was saying. Darcy on the other side was saying, why are they not moving? Like, are they dead? Are they alive? She couldn't tell. And he was literally in real time doing it because they were watching him, intercepting them. And it was kind of like sad because people were looking at him with their eyes, and there was like emotions coming down, like tears and stuff, but they could not move whatsoever. And so consciously, I'm assuming that Wanda just doesn't have conscious understanding at all times with everybody because just too much. But these people are literally being tortured. And this is one of the things I thought was really interesting. Oh, girl, what is her name? What's the chick's one?
Agatha.
Yeah, Agatha, she legit almost made it out. She got to the end of the street, which weirdly, the street doesn't have an end to it. Like it actually, the sign showed it went past the field, but she literally stopped right there, which is weird. I don't know how she got that far. This might play more into her comic book side of things, but I'm not sure. But either way, he woke her up and she told him everything. She was like, yo, you're dead. You're dead. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Where's the Avengers? Like, what are you gonna do to stop us? And she blew a gasket. She couldn't hold it.
As we've seen, this is the second episode we've seen that when Vision actually touches someone, they get broken from Wanda's spell. And then that leads them to ask questions. That's why she's like, wait, you're an Avenger. And he's like, what's an Avenger? So she's that Wanda's still controlling him enough where he doesn't know what's going on, but everyone else knows what's going on. Like even in the town, I took that as being, as long as there's no purpose or use for the people, it's like a television show. Where do the neighbors go that you no longer see on a television show? They still exist, but when they're needed, they show up. Like what, episode 4, I want to say? Maybe 5. Maybe 4.
Yeah.
5, when they bring up, why are there no kids in this town?
Yep. Yeah. Vision legit brought it up last episode too.
And then Pietro said, oh, so like, do you just have them like around when you need them? Like, and that gives us a leeway into exactly the danger of her controlling, because in the first 4 or 5 episodes, we don't necessarily see the overall danger of her controlling a town.
Yep.
Because they all seem to be functional.
Yep.
But now we see the dangers when she doesn't need them, when they are not part of her active story. What happens to them?
Yeah.
And that's the part of town that Vision got to see.
Yeah. Like she's literally leaving them like little NPCs that don't have any consciousness, don't do anything, they're just stuck.
Yep.
And I don't know physically what that's actually doing to them for that extended amount of time. But the thing that I wanted to bring up with you is the fact of Vision. Vision went past the barrier. And
you're just going to bring this up.
I had to. You know I had to. Vision went past the barrier. And we know Vision died. We know Vision doesn't have a Mind Stone. We speculate that Shuri never fixed him to the point that he could be able to actively move and work, because technically Shuri just got brought back around the same exact time that old girl came back.
Wanda broke his body out.
Yep.
Of the containment center that he was in.
So the only thing that's moving him, the only thing that's allowing him to be able to function is Wanda. But I always wondered, like, is that really actually Vision, or is that just a part of her consciousness? Is she using Vision's body like as another form of control? Because like you said, when he touches people, he can pull them out instantaneously. She doesn't have to touch anybody, and she's controlling them.
But her powers are from which stone?
So remember, well, it was the Mind Stone, not the Mind Stone. He had the Mind Stone. She had the
Was it Reality Stone?
Yes, she had the Reality Stone that was kind of like that messed with her. But he had the Mind Stone. Well, no, were they both the Mind Stone?
Maybe both were the Mind Stone. I can't remember.
But
Avengers movies.
But
it's 6 of them.
Yeah, we apologize, and I feel sick, so I can't give you the exact information. But I do know either way that doesn't matter because it just activated the powers that she has anyway. But I'm just saying that when, like we talked about before, when your girl Monica went out, she came out with the clothes.
Yep. Hey, that's the part I thought you was going to focus on here. Yep.
Like the fact that he came out seemingly fully conscious and technically alive, not for very long, but enough that he could get words out, that he could understand what was going on.
They could ask for help. That they could clearly see it was Vision.
Yep.
And a living, walking version of Vision.
Yep. It's just, that's the part that's the most interesting and complex thing about this for me, personally. But everything else is.
We've been talking about that from the beginning, that this would be the most interesting thing is when do we get to the point where it really focuses on Vision?
Yep.
Because he's the most interesting part of this show. Because again, he's not living, but he's moving around as a living thing. We know he's in that way because of Wanda. What happens if he tries to step out of the grid? Now, the difference between him and Monica is Monica was pushed out by Wanda.
Yep.
He attempted to willingly escape. And that, I think, is the difference. She doesn't want you to escape. You're not leaving.
So you're saying that if she willed it, he could have gotten out.
Yes.
But do you think is that, because if that was the case, technically, she could just walk out with him herself and keep him sustained.
Yes, with no issue. But she was so mad that she just extended the world.
So I thought, okay, so this is where I interpreted it. I interpreted that he wasn't ready, quote unquote, to go out yet. And that I'm not sure what pieces that she needs, but I think that she's working towards this. But she knew that he was already out because the children told her, which we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to Pietro and the children in a second. But the children was like, Dad's in trouble. And so she extended it out to protect him because he was about to die.
To bring him back.
Yeah.
100% so. Yes.
He was about to be gone. He was about to die all over again. It's like that would have been his third time dying. It's pretty bad. But for me, there's something more to this.
Oh, it's clearly that part we agree on.
That I don't know if it is completely her.
I'm about to say you're still waiting for the connection that it's not her. Since she didn't start it, it's something amplifying her powers.
I mean, it's definitely something amplifying her powers. It's just it's not. I don't think it is a stone. I don't think it is like just her emotions. There's something else that's manipulating this, and this is where I do want to talk. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of Mephisto or whoever else, I'm just saying that there's something else there. Now, the weird thing in this, and this is where I really wanted to talk to you so we can dive in deep about this. Have you noticed that Pietro, unlike Vision, is not under any kind of control whatsoever, just like the kids?
Just like the kids, yes.
Like he not only, like the kids, like they technically know what's going on now, but he has all the understanding of what happened before, what's happening now. And
why was he brought where he was brought to? Because he says it in the show.
Yeah.
Like I was in one place and then I magically ended up here because you wanted me to be here.
Exactly. Like it's not like he's under any kind of spell of understanding. Like everybody else is kind of like, this is my old life. Like, no, he knows fully what's going on. And he seems like he's okay with all this happening.
But then what would you say about the slips that we see from the neighbors? Because in this episode, someone, I can't remember who it happened with before, who asked her, "Is this what you really want?" But I remember the Frankenstein guy.
It was old girl.
Agatha.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Frankenstein asked her the same thing. He like, because Vision's not here. Is that okay? Is that okay? Do you need something changed?
Like he was a part of a set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he fully understands that I'm under your control, but I need you to be pleased. Because if you're not pleased, there's no telling what else you may do.
Yeah. Like it might be suffering that I'm gonna have to deal with. Now I don't have time for that. But the reason why I brought that up though is it wasn't until the uncle came in that the kids started exhibiting powers too.
Yes.
And that's where, some people have made some weird theories, but
their powers.
Yeah.
Because the first power they had was the ability just to age themselves with no issue.
That's Vision. That would be something Vision would do.
Mm-hmm. Next power is that technically, which I have issues. I have questions, not issues. I'm sorry. I have questions about, did Marvel just literally create twins that had the exact same powers as the twins they had before?
I mean, are we talking comics or are we talking about this show?
Comics.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Yeah. These two kids, her sons, have literally the same powers of her and her twin.
Yeah. It's just weird to me that they would start exhibiting this in connection with him. Because they weren't up until that point. It's like well, I'm going to say he activated their powers, but if they had latent abilities, it didn't come out until he got there.
Or is Wanda activating their powers?
That's what I'm trying to say. That's the biggest question is that is this man right here, Evan Peters, Quicksilver,
first?
Is he real?
Uh-huh.
Or is he not? And this is just her. Because the reality is these kids, it's the same question. It's the same question.
We know they're real.
I mean, we know that they're real.
We know where they're going to.
We do, but this is where I don't have this conversation with you because the comics, the reason why I keep bringing up Mephisto is specifically because of these kids.
Yes.
That's literally the only reason why I keep bringing it up. And I'm like, somebody made a weird theory that, Evan Peters' character isn't Pietro at all, that it actually is the character that we've been talking about this whole entire time.
That he's Mephisto. Mm-hmm. Disguised as Pietro because she needed Pietro to activate more of her powers.
Well, no, remember she was slipping. Like the last episode, she lost control over everything. Like Vision understood, he was fully aware of what was going on.
So they believe that he's her. What is the thing that Leonardo DiCaprio had in Inception?
Token, talisman, something.
Token.
Yeah.
I think it's token. So he's her token. He's keeping her there.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like when Leo spins it and doesn't know what's real, what's fake, what's reality, what isn't, but his token tells him everything. That's her token, or what Mephisto needs to be her token, so he can keep her in this world.
It's just weird though, because if we're going off that same logic, even with Leo, the reason why that token it stops. If the token keeps spinning, then it's off. That doesn't look like her freaking brother. Like her token is off as it is.
Yes.
So I mean, this is just shooting in the dark. I mean, it literally could be Pietro. The weird thing that throws me off about it is that when he entered the picture, the kids started having powers. Not only that, he's fully aware and conscious of what she's doing. And I don't believe that he would just blindly be like, oh, yeah, this is all cool. It doesn't matter.
But
like,
she wouldn't have control over him like she doesn't have control over the kids.
That's what I'm saying.
So maybe that's what it's supposed to play out as. Is like, yeah, that's, again, her brother from another dimension, because you can't bring back the dead, because she kind of told us that in episode 4, that you can't bring back something that's actually dead. So if you pulled her brother from another dimension, and here he is, he would know exactly what she's doing, and he would question her, like, so, like, you just bring them out when you need them, and in turn, him coming activates the kid's powers, or Vision being, well, clearly it seems like Vision being in trouble activated Billy. I hate these names, by the way. Billy and Tommy.
Billy and Tommy. Yeah, it's their comic book names. So yeah, I can't remember if it's Tommy that's got speed. I don't remember. Oh my god.
Who cares? One of them is Quicksilver Jr. and the other one is Scarlet Witch Jr.
Yeah, but the one that has her powers felt Vision, which is weird. Is how would he feel Vision before she would?
That
don't make no sense.
To me, that's the bigger part of it. Is how didn't she feel that Vision was in pain?
Like she didn't even know.
Nope. She had the slightest idea.
And that doesn't make sense. And it maybe, again, she could be exerting herself, so she's keeping everybody under control, that she's not keeping tabs over everything. I don't know. I don't even know, because even like the last episode, it's evident that she could have wiped Vision's memory, but she didn't. He still remembers everything from the last episode, from my understanding.
When she's wiped his memory in the past already.
Yep. So is she losing control?
I would say that was the key part of this whole show, is her losing control. As the kids get older, her control.
It is starting to be. It's true.
Yeah,
and it's getting way more hectic too.
Yes. And as we are fast forwarding through things with 3 episodes left, 2000s to 2010s, 2020, that's it. So when the kids get grown, which we kind of knew that was coming, but when they get to that age point, would she have any more power? Or did Mephisto, as you believe, succeed in whatever his goal is here?
I mean, there's a lot that's happened now, because she extended it out and it was still moving. Again, I said last week, my worry and concern is, I don't want to keep on bringing up the comic, but a situation where she would have this spread out all over, because she could. And I don't know what anybody would be able to do to stop it, to be honest.
Now, do you think that's the perfect setup to bring other people in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
because
bro.
if she gets to the point where it stretches out that far, then you would have to bring other people in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, like even with Monica in this episode, they definitely led a huge Easter egg that, I mean, she was like, oh, yeah, my contact is going to meet me at this location. Jesus. And I mean, we're assuming that this is the same scientist dude. She never said who the heck it was. I don't know.
They just need to bring Reed Richards out here. I'd assumed, as I said before, that they would save him for Spider-Man 3. But hey, if you're gonna I don't know. We gotta look at the cast here, because even the surprise casting of Evan Peters, he was actually mentioned in the cast notes as someone who was on the show. So it's not overly a big surprise here. So it really would be revealed in the cast notes of who. Shout out to IMDb, who reveals everything in cast notes.
Yeah.
To who Reed Richards would be. Or maybe it's another person.
What do you mean? What, that's going to be helping?
I'm assuming so.
I mean, if it ain't...
Do you want to reveal Reed Richards this early?
I mean, it sure ain't Captain Marvel. So, I
I am intoxicated. Let me say that first and foremost, okay? So my clear mind that normally works well to figure out ain't there right now. He is attempting to work his way through a tequila haze right now. But to me, it's setting it up. The obvious setup would be for Reed Richards, and it tells me that that's not the person it would be, because it would be obvious.
It'd be obvious to us. Consumers have been surprised with everything that has come out, even before we started talking about it. When we started going over the different possibilities in episode 2, just from Monica's clothes, people were thrown off. So I think that, the big Marvel fans will definitely be all eye candy about it, but consumers might not know. Consumers might be completely thrown off by that.
Okay. I would just assume maybe they would try to do let's see, Monica said it's someone again who is supposed to help her with this situation. Who is someone in Marvel's past films that could help with this situation?
Look, Chris P, in the comment section. I think that's who they need to bring to solve this whole problem, but that ain't happening.
Who's another genius in Marvel's universe?
Look, he said Professor X, but I'm just saying,
not going for someone who is new, meaning someone who they have to bring in new. Who else is a genius in Marvel's universe?
Wait, you talking about in the MCU?
In the MCU, who's a genius in the MCU?
Besides Bruce Banner, I don't know. Who are you talking about? You lost me.
Shuri.
Oh, Shuri. They ain't bringing no Black Panther up here. She technically at this point is the Black Panther. They're not. No, they have not said that. They have not in any way, shape, form, or fashion have said that. They have not done it for a reason. They are not bringing that girl up here.
Well, think about it. The goal is to branch this off into something bigger. The bigger goal is to branch this. Yeah. This should be a direct tie-in with Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
So if this is a direct tie-in with Doctor Strange, would you think they would? Would you assume they would use Doctor Strange to contain Wanda? Considering that Wanda is in Doctor Strange?
So I think that by the end of the last episode, Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance because the reality would have been warped beyond repair, which would be the catalyst to his movie. But I don't think that he's going to jump in yet, but I think he's aware of what's going on. But I wouldn't see him.
Let me phrase this. I don't think anyone's jumping in the next 2 episodes.
Oh, you're talking about the Endgame finale.
Yeah, I think the next 2 episodes is really to establish exactly what's going on, Wanda, what she's doing, her losing control. Maybe the guy you have been bringing up since episode 2, maybe he shows himself. But then if he shows himself, that brings in Doctor Strange.
It does. I just think that Monica honestly is talking about Reed Richards.
I'm trying not to say that just because.
You want them to surprise you.
No. Marvel can't surprise me at this point. But Marvel does not hide casting news at all. They have never hidden casting news. They can't. It's almost impossible for them to do it.
I'm trying to think when they may have hit a casting news ever. I'm trying to think. They definitely gave away Spider-Man. They definitely gave away Captain America back in the day.
And someone like Reed Richards is a huge character. Now, granted, for people who are connected to this, we have an idea who Reed Richards is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have a solid idea who the person would be cast as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Now, is he doing anything right now? Clearly he isn't. So it's a chance. But I don't know if you want to put him here. You want to definitely get to the character, But is this a character you want to put off of this show?
So this is the thing. I think, and even Kevin Feige back with D23 and transition going into Comic-Con, they are putting these shows at the forefront before their movies.
Where
and
they need to be.
They're doing something very different with this. So I suspect them that they could do something like that. But to me, will be even more of a shocker, kind of like what they did with Evan Peters, is maybe they don't have to announce a new cast member. Maybe they could pull somebody else from the Fox
movie
and put them in here, and it wouldn't be new technically, but it would be news. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
But if you keep on putting people in front of Fox movies, then we're gonna have more questions.
Yo, we already had that conversation. I asked you, do you think people are gonna be pissed if they just left this as a fan?
But how many people remember? And this is a good question here. How many people remember that Kevin Feige was actually involved with those Fox movies?
Most people don't. Most people don't remember.
Okay.
Most people don't remember that.
Yeah. Most people don't remember that. Okay. Yeah. Like it's not like he wasn't involved with the Fox movies.
Like I worry that I don't know, man. I just think it's a missed opportunity if they don't take advantage of them.
You want Charles Xavier, don't you?
Man, I want Fassbender.
Or Magneto.
I want Fassbender. That's it. That's all I care about. I mean, if you get James McAvoy and Fassbender, yo, you got me. But they're gonna have to recast Wolverine no matter what. I couldn't see them going back with Hugh Jackman. That's too big of a character to not recast, in my opinion.
Not that. I think Hugh did his swan song. Like,
are you talking about Logan?
Yeah, he did. He got his perfect exit.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to revisit that.
But you look, you throw some money at this man.
And money is not a thing. Unlike Robert Downey Jr., money is not a thing that drives Hugh Jackman.
I mean, that's true.
Like,
now he got a show.
If money drove Bad Education, if money drove Hugh Jackman, he would not do the projects that he does.
No, it's something called Renaissance. It's coming on HBO Max. I can't remember if it's a show or a movie, but it looks good.
Like, he was not driven by money like our DJ is. So I don't think he's someone who you can buy back into this saga. But again, Michael would be interesting, but Michael wouldn't be who Monica would be leaning on to for help.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Like when I think about help, if it's not Reed, it would have to be someone kind of connected to Captain Marvel.
Yo, why is Mephisto in our chat? Yo, hey, Mephisto, I need you to chill, man. This dude saying I will take Wanda's children. Yeah. Look, hey, Disney. Look, I'm not weird. Look, Disney, if y'all trying to start something, I ain't do it.
hey, you niggas is wild. I will take her children. Is that who we are? Is that what we're doing? Doing Black History Month? We're taking kids? No, man. No.
Look. Anyway, we're
I don't think the goal wouldn't be to take her kids. It would literally be to take her. She is the prize. The kids ain't the prize. Even though the kids are technically her and Quicksilver all over again, they're not the prize here. She's the prize.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I will say, I think that Monica's got powers. I think she's already got powers.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether she's aware.
All that talk about how close you got with Carol Danvers and all that shit. Yeah. I questioned in the first episode. I just need to know, is Rogue stealing her powers or Carol's powers?
So I think they're gonna avoid that just because they made a comment. Was it this episode? It was during this moment right here where they told Monica, like, you can't go back in there. Like, it was basically like
cells have been mutated to the point where if she goes back in there, she may not survive.
And this is the thing, mutated. You notice how they use that word? And I was kind of like, are they going to use this to,
give her Captain Marvel powers?
Or even just the mutant side of things. Marvel has for years not use the word mutant or mutate or anything intentionally.
Because they didn't own it. They had no choice but not to use it.
And so now you got verbiage like that. I don't know. Man. But yeah, so I think we did it. I think we did the whole thing, man. I don't have any other things.
Without shitting on this episode for a special person who say I always shit on this show, I did my best. And I'm intoxicated, so you don't understand the level it took for me not to say a lot of things I thought about this episode. I just let it go. And I said, you know what? We're going to go. You know what? I became happy because something happened that me and Sam talked about. I kind of knew what's going to happen, which was the last 3 episodes will probably go to an hour apiece.
Hey.
As we've been calling these splits this entire time. This is clearly the second half of episode 3 in my mind. This is the second half of episode 3. So the point that we're getting to hour-long episodes now tells me it's finally leaned to the point where they say, hey, let's just give them what we initially shot.
Yeah.
And it could be because this is the time where we need to reveal more stuff, and piecing it out in 30-minute segments isn't going to work as well as it will as an hour.
To make it naturally flow. And not just that, I think that now that they're in the 2000s anyway, you know, there's no more errors to kind of jump through unless it starts being some trippy stuff where she starts changing stuff back and forth.
I think that's going to be like control. I think it's going to be like the second to the last episode that we're going to see her lose control, and it bounces back from one era to the next, to one era to the next, and things of that nature. But again, we got 2000s, 2010s, then present day.
True. There is a shot in, I think it was the last trailer or the newest one, where I swear, she's looking out a window. Wanda is. She looks messed up and something yellow. And I was like, did she recreate the Mind Stone? What is going on? Like, I can't find the picture anywhere. But it was in one of the last promotions that I was like, something's going on there. And it felt like a last episode kind of thing.
We're just going to have a discussion eventually of just how powerful Wanda is supposed to be.
True.
Because that's at this point in the realm of the MCU, who's more powerful than Wanda?
I would say honestly that most people would kind of be like, oh, well, maybe Captain Marvel, but I think that Wanda has way more capability of power than anybody, because she almost single-handedly, with nothing,
beat Thanos.
Man, she put hands on this man.
But so did Captain Marvel, and both of them are created from Infinity Stones.
But even in Avengers 2, after Pietro died, she disintegrated everything around her, like out of emotion. Like her emotions are tied to her power.
Yeah.
And if she actually really is a mutant, like it doesn't even matter. Like it's not even her source of power. It's from, you know.
Oh, well, we know now she's actually a mutant.
So
which we know. We're just waiting for her father to be revealed. That's all we're waiting for.
Yeah, we'll see what goes with that. But yeah, I don't know, man. Something's wrong with Evan Peters. I just something feels off. I really do feel that way.
Anyone who's watched American Horror Story has felt the same way.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Another thing I was going to bring up to you. I was like, say he is actually Mephisto. That's perfect casting. like low key, like he plays a dope villain.
Evan Peters is an amazing actor for something like this nature. Like, again, if you've ever seen a single season of American Horror Story, you understand just how good Evan Peters is as an actor, and his ability to shift characters from one extreme to the next. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna get anybody better than him. But again, we're getting into the good part here. I have said from the beginning, the issue with this show is strictly one thing: cutting up these episodes into 30-minute unnecessary segments. I think that is stupid. So for the last 3 episodes, not to cut it up, man, we got something interesting here. Am I going to say good? No, because it's Marvel, but something interesting. I am more interested now than I was at any given point, and it has nothing to do with episode 6. It has to do with them no longer splitting these episodes up.
Yeah. It's definitely go time. Whatever comes at this point now, this is the time for you guys to catch up to the show and watch it at this point, because any kind of surprises could happen at any moment. If you're excited about the show, this is a good time for you.
You got to March the 5th. If you want to catch up at the end, I think March the 5th is the last episode of WandaVision.
I think so.
19th, 26th, and the 5th. So yeah. Like, if you want to wait, you can. If you want to binge it all at once, which I fully understand people who want to view it that way, but, sit back and enjoy it, as these last 3 episodes will reveal the future of the MCU. For anyone who wants to know, these last 3 episodes will reveal the future of the MCU.
Yeah.
Of where they're heading to, because this was the main purpose of this show. If you're expecting Falcon and Winter Soldier to give you something, it's not going to give you anything. It's WandaVision.
Yeah, it's kind of like Falcon and Winter Soldier is what I would call like the battle for the cow for Batman. It's consolidated. It's the legacy that Captain America left.
It's the entertainment show. That's what I'm gonna put it as. The entertainment show, which is a great thing, because that's the show I'm actually looking forward to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being entertained.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And that comes out March 19th for you guys that don't know.
I won't watch it on March 19th because it's something else that comes out on the 18th that will take that entire weekend for me. So I'll watch it after that. So if y'all are looking forward to us reviewing Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm pretty sure Disney will give it to us early. We're going to try to get to it as long as that other network doesn't also give us that other project early. If they give us that other project early, fuck Falcon and Winter Soldier until we fully digest that other project. You all know what I'm talking about. Hey. I'm just saying, I know and I understand this is our Marvel-based show. I personally, for people out there who are going to call me a fanboy, I absolutely hate that other project that's coming out and everything about it. But I am not stupid. That thing is 4 hours long. There's no way in hell I'm going to care about anything else when that comes out. So my first Falcon Winter Soldier episode comes out on March the 23rd, because that's the time I'm going to have to watch it. Before March the 23rd, who knows? It's this guy, this thing that's coming out that's 4 hours long that I'm going to have to focus on.
Oh, man. I told you I'd be almost done with this show.
Hey, done. My ice is gone out of my drink. Man.
So Chris P asked the question I think we covered before.
Chris P. That P sounds familiar.
So he asked, how would this affect the Falcon and Winter Soldier? I'm assuming this will take place within the same time.
That's a good question.
We talked about that early on, because initially Falcon and Winter Soldier was supposed to come before this. It wasn't finished shooting, and then they ended up going and backfilling everything for WandaVision and then chopping and screwing it up, where now it's going to be March 5th. Between March 5th and March 19th is this kind of buffer area, but that was all intentional by Disney to try to make sure that they had content to build up until March. But in terms of where Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to take place, I would assume it had to take place before, right?
It's in present time. When you say before, I don't think Falcon and Winter Soldier was meant to overly branch off into big events of the MCU the way that WandaVision is.
I don't, but by the end of, which is really stupid, by the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're going to have their new Captain America. Whether it's Bucky or whether it's Sam, we're going to have
new Captain America?
Yeah, they're going to, this is what they did in the comics. They're going to make one of them to be the pseudo new Captain America, and then old man Steve Rogers is gonna make his appearance because they need him. But that's I'm just saying that at the end of that show,
Chris tried to throw everyone off. Like, I've never heard about this, but that rumor didn't come out of nowhere that he had signed on for additional movies under Marvel.
Yeah. What the
I just think that they are connected to two different situations in the MCU. It's clear that WandaVision is the launching point for the multiverse and everything that needs to move forward. I believe Falcon and Winter Soldier is just launching into other elements of the MCU that's not as grand.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to you. I don't think it's a grand show. It was never meant to be. It is the fun, action-packed show. And that's why I think that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. It's the fun, action-packed show. It's the show that every week is going to give you something to say, oh man, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did that. But it's so self-contained where it doesn't have to give the overarching arc of a WandaVision and what's needed from WandaVision.
Yeah, I think honestly that's one of the reasons why I like the movie The Winter Soldier is it was very, it didn't have to, I mean, yes, the events in it, you know, mattered, but they didn't. Like it was its own self-contained thing, whereas like
the events mattered, but the actions that took place were self-contained.
And I love that. I love that. I love that about that and the Guardians of the Galaxy one. But you know,
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is the best Marvel movie ever made. Fight me on that. I don't care who wants to fight me on it. It's the best Marvel movie made, hands down. Second is Winter Soldier, which still isn't better than Dark Knight. I don't care how many of you Marvel fans want to actually believe that sickness in your mind. It is not on that level, but it is a really, really good film. Really good film. And again, it feels self-contained, and that's why it feels so great. It actually feels the same way Ant-Man 1 feels, in that it's self-contained. And Ant-Man 1 is highly entertaining, but it's just not on the same level as the Winter Soldier and, as you said, Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah, I think honestly, if Edgar Wright was able to do the Ant-Man that he really wanted,
oh my god, that
joke would have been dope.
That would have been the best movie Marvel's ever made. Like, I have no doubt about that. See, for people who think I hate Marvel, I don't hate Marvel. It's just certain things. I don't like that they constantly remake Iron Man 1. I don't like Iron Man 2, 3. I don't like Ant-Man 2. I don't like Black Panther. Yes, it's plenty of movies I don't like in that stretch. But I do believe they do solid movies from time to time, solid forms of entertainment. None of them Netflix shows. I hated all of them equally. But they do things that, again, as I said before with WandaVision, this is not a bad show. Changing the format of the show to 30 minutes from the hour, it hurt it, but it's still not a bad show.
Yeah. And actually, from a viewership standpoint, I'm not sure who put that up there. WandaVision. The viewership, they were saying something really good about it. It had some kind of record as far as most viewed.
I think that was from Pirate. I think that's the name of. I hope it's not from them, because we defunct them off of something they said about the Mandalorian like last year. They don't do a great job of getting viewership numbers properly.
Here we go. Forbes.
That's the same one I'm talking about. That's Pirate. Parrot. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, that's not the best measure.
I kind of was wondering. I was kind of like,
hey, I was right. Yeah, that company is not good. I'm sorry. And I'm all for companies attempting to measure streaming services. It's the way they attempt to measure it literally makes no sense. And they did it before because they tried to they do an awesome job of downplaying Netflix shows, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah.
I think around the time they did say something with Mandalorian, Disney came out and said those numbers weren't actually true. Like it's not a good measuring service at all. At all. No, here's the key part, people, for everybody out there to know. It is impossible for these services to actually measure what happens with streaming services. They cannot measure those numbers because streaming services never give up those numbers. So what they do is they attempt to estimate what it could be, and they make the mistake. Pirate, I hope I'm saying it. Parrot,
yeah.
Make the mistake of measuring it based off of how much a show is downloaded illegally at times. Guess what? If I don't want to watch something legally, I'm going to download it illegally. That doesn't mean that people like the show. I mean, hey, shout out to Pirate Bay. If you go on there, it's lots of bad content that is extremely high on illegal downloads. That doesn't mean people like the show. That doesn't mean people care about the show. So again, to me, it's not about ratings with WandaVision. I've said that repeatedly. WandaVision is not about ratings. It's about serving a purpose to push the MCU forward. And for you people out there who either left WandaVision because it was too slow or overly hyped WandaVision, all of you get on my nerves. I don't care which group you fall into. Just sit back and enjoy the show. I said it before on our Wonder Woman discussion. This stuff is being made for you all. Sit back and enjoy it. You may not like every element of it. That's fine. I don't like every episode of Chicago PD or Law and Order SVU. That doesn't stop me from watching it. And that's what you all got to do here. Sit back and enjoy what you're getting here. In the end, this is high quality television. You're not going to get another show that costs $25 million per episode. Nope. You're not going to have that happen. They're giving you a cinematic experience on a television level. Sit back and enjoy it, whether it's good, whether it's bad. Hey, your opinion is your opinion. If you feel like voicing it, we're all for it as much as we voice our opinions about it. But again, sit back and enjoy it, man.
Yeah. It's I think that's it.
Mary Kay and Ashley's little sister is doing an awesome job.
She is.
So I love Elizabeth Olsen, and I love her as an actress. I think she's an amazing actress. Paul, he's not a good actor. He's just been faking it for years. But as a show, I think the show works. Again, the only issue I had is the format and splitting this show up. But as a show, it really works, and it works well. Sit down and enjoy it, because come March 18th, it's not going to matter. Because it's this other thing that comes out.
So we can just end this on a really good note. I think we ended on a really good note anyway, but I'm saying that to lead them on a hook. How do you think
it's going to
this
end?
Show is going to end? Like last 5 minutes of this show. And I know you're a little, and I kind of.
Yep, I am not fully in my right mind, so I'm going to go for a wow theory here. I think the last 5 minutes, it does show up that your guy has been playing a pivotal role in controlling Wanda, and he is stopped, and she is stopped and contained and treated like a villain by Doctor Strange. I think that he drives her in a point of madness. Okay. Because she's going to lose everything. I see them pulling her children away, and I see them pulling Vision away, and that amplifying her powers, which we already agree is pushed by emotion, and Doctor Strange controlling them.
Wow,
because he has no choice but to do so.
So, okay, quick question then. Going off of that, do we know who Christian Bale is actually playing? Did they ever say what his character name was in Doctor Strange?
No, they haven't. I don't think they ever even hinted towards it.
Interesting.
Or did they? Did they hint towards it? They may have.
I thought they did, but maybe I'm getting this completely wrong. Maybe Christian Bale's character was in something else.
No. He's the main villain of Doctor Strange. I assumed.
No. It's he's
not the Eternals, is it?
He's in Thor.
He's in Thor: Love and Thunder.
He was Thor: God Butcher. So we don't know who the villain is for Doctor Strange. There's not a villain listed at all.
Yeah, because we know who the villain is for. Who's Kang the Conqueror? What movies he's the villain for?
That's Ant-Man. Ant-Man 3.
Okay. And we don't have a villain for Eternals.
Not at all.
I'm not for a bunch of space people. Oh,
yeah.
All right. So we don't have maybe Wanda's the villain.
I just something is completely off, and I feel like the last 5 minutes will to what Lucas has already said.
Hey,
this is going to push forward.
All of this when I do this sober next week, and I'm able to really wrap my head around it. Right now, man, my man is focused on tacos, a little bit of WandaVision, and some Snyder Cut is in there for some odd reason. I don't even know why. In my mind, as much as I'm wondering what happens with Wanda at the end of this, I'm wondering, where's Green Lantern going to show up? Because of my drinks, my mind is just everywhere humanly possible right now. I'm pretty sure I came real close to saying, well, Deadpool is going to show up at the end of WandaVision. It's no telling. Oh man.
We're done, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And at the 55-56 mark, we are out of here. Make sure you make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell button. Go down to the description bar below. You'll see our episode 5 discussion if you want to go back through that. And we'll be back sometime next week. It'll be good.